Hey guys, it's Jason Yanks with SCNS Live, powered by Cinelinx, and today I am interviewing Mr. Thunder Levin. Mr. Levin, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Jason.
Now, you have been riding this wave of amazingness from this movie, which has generated so much buzz. It's kind of become an entity on its own, it seems.
It really has. It's building on itself now, and it's taken on a life of its own, and it's just amazing and surreal. It's become the little movie that could. Whoever could have expected something like this? It's incredible.
Now, I put it out there that we're going to be interviewing you, and I got a ton of questions that our listeners wanted, and there's no way I can get to all of them. But this is the one that someone had. They wanted to know what was the exact time and place that the idea for this movie came to be. What were you doing? Where were you?
Well, unfortunately, I can't take credit for the title. I wish I could. The title came from Sci-Fi Channel. They said, we want you to write a movie about a Sharknado, a tornado full of sharks. So I can't take credit for that. I don't know what the impetus was for that historic moment, but I wish I'd been in the room.
Now, you did do the writing for this movie, and you have done directing for the Asylum as well, haven't you? Because I know Apocalypse Earth had a big spike on Netflix right after Sharknado, after people were like, who was this guy that wrote this movie? And I guess people were looking for more work of yours.
Yeah, I'm very pleased about that. Although, if somebody goes to watch AE Apocalypse Earth, thinking it's going to be another Sharknado, they're going to be a bit surprised because it's actually a completely straight science fiction action film.
Yes, it is. I actually did check. I did check it out on Netflix because I was looking to learn more about you, of course, for this interview, like any responsible journalist. Also, someone asked, and because they kept asking, what's his real name? And I kept telling people, his name is Thunder Levin. This is his name. Can you please clear that up for me?
I swear.
Okay, guys, stop asking me that one. I thought, well, your writing has included the recent Atlantic Rim, the Asylum work off Pacific Rim, Apocalypse Earth, of course, Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood as well.
Right, now that one is a bit more in the tone of Sharknado. That's another one that we had fun with.
And I was actually reading some interviews with you, and you said if we're going to write this movie, we're totally going to have fun with it. Is that correct?
That was the main thing. When they brought it to me, sometimes some of these things with the crazy mashup titles end up taking themselves too seriously, I think. And so when they brought me this crazy idea of Sharknado, I said I'd love to do it, but I have to be able to have fun with it. And fortunately, everybody was on board with that idea. Everybody had the same wanted to take the same approach. So it was really a great process. The writing process went very smoothly. I wrote the first draft in about a month and turned it in, and Sci-Fi didn't have too many notes. They didn't want too much change. Everybody seemed to be pretty happy with it. So there were some minor revisions, and it was done very smoothly and very quickly. And thank God that other people have tuned into the sense of fun we were having.
Well, coming from a fan of the movie and just someone who heard about it, as soon as I heard about it, I just saw the Enough Said Sharknado, and I said, okay, I'm in. And Thursday night, I'm sitting at my TV, and I was on Twitter just talking about the movie, and then I saw this storm. I was doing it from my phone at first, but I just kind of went, I need to get a laptop because there's no way I can keep up with this. You couldn't have been expecting that.
No, who could possibly have expected it? Once the poster was released back in November, we sort of started to hear some buzz beginning. There were a couple of posts on some movie websites, and then people started talking about it a little bit. And even July 4th weekend, which was soon before the movie premiered, a couple of my friends from back east called me and said, hey, I was at a party and people were talking about Sharknado. And so we knew it was getting some attention. But, there was no way to expect this. We were doing a live tweet to coincide with the first broadcast. and I would look down at my computer to type out a comment, and by the time I hit enter and looked back up, 200 more tweets had come in. It was just surreal. And it sort of continued that way. So we're just trying to hang on and ride the wave.
Now, Grant, and the first showing was, I have the exact numbers here, 1.37 million for a sci-fi movie. And then the next week, next Thursday, it's 1.89 million. And then just to do it again, 2.1 million. Honestly, what can you attest to this? That the reason this is going, and even a big budget Hollywood red carpet style premiere, what do you attest to the success of Sharknado?
Well, obviously the numbers went up because people were talking about it so much that first night, and a lot of people didn't see it. So when they had the opportunity, they wanted to know what everybody else was talking about, and they flocked to watch it. As to why it's gotten this kind of popularity and has become sort of this strange social phenomena, I mean, this doesn't happen. This is bizarre. It's a phenomenon unto itself now. But as to why, the only thing I can think is that the sense of fun we were having with it has translated, and people are catching on to that, and they're having fun with it too, and they're sort of making it their own. And this has been a summer of big budget movies that have disappointed, and so ours has become sort of the little movie that could. As the director has said, it's the movie that doesn't know it can't do that, and so we've all been having fun doing things we didn't know we couldn't do.
Well, at the end of the day, you go to see a movie to be entertained, to enjoy it. So despite what any detractor would say about this movie, the mission was definitely accomplished. People were entertained. People were talking about it. I know when I came into work the next day, everyone was like, "Did you see it last night?" Of course, you're on my Twitter. Of course, I saw it last night, and I was genuinely pleased at the reaction because it was fun. That's what movie making and movie viewing should be about, right?
Absolutely. Obviously, I agree, or I wouldn't have done it. And I think the beauty of this movie is that it's kind of immune to naysayers because they're just grumpy and didn't get it and don't want to have fun. And it's easy to look at somebody who says this is terrible and say, you're just missing the point. Sure, we didn't, it didn't have a huge budget, and the sharks are they don't all look perfectly realistic, and the whole thing is incredible and unbelievable. But that's the point. It's just a fun ride, and if you can't get behind that, then this is not the movie for you. Well, we're very happy with the crazy people who like it.
It's very hard to be. You can be critical, but also you can look at this thing. This thing has a 89% rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now. People
that continues to amaze me. Yeah,
people are talking about it though. It's got such word of mouth. Who can say anything critical about this movie? It did what it was supposed to do.
That's the point. That's it right there. It is what it is. And I think it succeeds at what it attempts to do perfectly.
Now, you've directed and written for the Asylum, but you were working on AE while Sharknado was being filmed. Now,
originally, actually, I was going to direct Sharknado, but then AE, which I'd also written, was going to be shot at the same time, and so I had to choose. And because I'd already done sort of a campy, tongue-in-cheek horror disaster film in Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood, I decided I wanted to do the serious science fiction film, AE. So yeah, I was off in the jungles of Costa Rica dealing with poisonous snakes and scorpions and a character in full body paint in the middle of the jungle while they were up here in Los Angeles shooting Sharknado on very sunny days when there was no rain, unfortunately.
Well, I'm sorry. And this is another question from one of our viewers here. If you had been at the helm, would you have changed anything about Sharknado?
Well, Anthony changed some stuff from my script, so I think if I had been directing it, I would have not made those changes. The whole Ferris wheel thing in the opening, Anthony invented that, and it was a great bit, but I didn't think of it. My script dealt a bit more with the geography of Los Angeles, and that was changed, I think, mostly in editing. You know, I had a certain element of how on earth do you get from here to there when Los Angeles is filling up with water. You know, because this is a city that our streets flood if it rains for 5 minutes. And so what would happen if a hurricane hit? I had a bit more of that kind of thing going on. But I think Anthony handled it all very well. And, you know, I mean, what I'd written was probably a $100 million film, and he did it for 1% of that. So well, I just doffed my cap to him.
Well, but any writer, no writer's going to go in and say, oh, well, they did exactly everything I wrote, and I'm very happy with it. So I suppose that
doesn't happen.
Well, another question is, how are you going to be involved with the sequel to Sharknado?
Well, we're talking about that right now. In fact, I'm hoping to get a call from my agent today about that. I would like to write it. It has been offered to me, and we're just trying to make it all work.
Okay, and another question for one of our viewers. What do you want to see from the next movie, or what is your vision for the next one, if we can get any of that?
Well, I think I'm going to save that for the script.
Oh, leaving one and more. Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously, Sci-Fi's already announced it's going to take place in New York, and so there are a lot of things that immediately come to mind for some of the iconic landmarks there. New York is my hometown, so I am looking forward to setting a story there because I've never written anything that takes place in the city before.
Oh.
And I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. And hopefully we'll get a lot of celebrity cameos to be eaten by sharks.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of celebrities that want to be involved with this property. That was very surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, that whole thing on Twitter with Mia Farrow, that just blew my mind. That was incredible.
All these just huge name stars. I want to go. Maybe it was just because it looked like everyone had so much fun working on this movie, and everyone's used to doing the big budget blockbusters, and we have a schedule to keep. We have this and this, but this looked like it was fun to do.
I don't know how everybody had fun with it. I don't know how much fun it is to be shooting outdoors, covered in rain and fake blood for 18 days straight. But I wasn't there to experience that. Hopefully, I'll be on set for the sequel because I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think at this point, anything because it was so well received, and of course the buzz is everyone wants to see another one of these movies. So you're giving people what they want.
That's certainly going to be our intention, and you know, all of us are having as much fun with it as everybody else, and I think we're all on the same page about what the sequel should be. And I'm just eager to get rolling and see what we can come up with.
Well, I got to tell you, I enjoyed the movie. I want to see another one from you. So, also, thank you for the movie. Just going to throw that out there.
Well, you're very welcome. Thanks for watching it. I mean, just to everybody, thank you. I mean, this is a little movie that could have disappeared, and the way people have embraced it has just been extraordinary, and it's so gratifying to see people having fun with something you've done. There's just no way to put that into words.
Well, that's certainly, and like I said, that's what movie making is all about, enjoying what you do and watching it as well. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, Mr. Levin. Thank you again for calling in and doing an interview with us.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Okay. I'm Jason the X for FCNS Live, powered by CineLinks, guys, and we'll catch you later.